Okay, so I'm going to give a brief history about the Western Togoland and how all this came about. It started all in 1919 when the Germans had the colonial power over Togo, that's the whole land of Togo. And then in the World War I, the British and the French defeated the Germans over those lands, and one of those lands was Togoland. And so they divided it into two, into a French sector and then the English sector. And with the English sector, at the time of the Second World War, the British had dominion over there. And fast forward into 1957, Ghana is having independence, and then it is decolonization time. So it means the British are leaving us, and they communicate with these people, that is the English Togo people, and these people came to join us. But when you read from the UNPO website, that is where the Western Togoland people have their issues written there concerning their supposed country that they are trying to set up and all the information is there, and it talks about how they had grievances concerning how the British just, did not really take their opinions into consideration but just added them to Gold Coast that has become Ghana. But over time since then, we hadn't had any serious issues concerning it until 1994, where a group was formed. And then fast forward into 2017, then 2019, then 2020, where this issue has really risen to this point. First of all, let me say I'm really glad and relieved to hear the Minister of Information address the issue of the Western Togoland. Looking at some of the things that he said they intended to do shows clearly how we as believers also need to be praying for the country. So let me just show you that video and then we come back to this.
Indeed, the most dire aspects of what the intelligence suggested these persons wanted to do were contained by the security agencies. The intelligence was to the effect that they had intentions to, for example, blow up and burn the whole market, attack sensitive installations like the Akonsombo Dam, I think the Akuse Dam, the Adome Bridge.
That is just weird. They had intentions of doing all these things. We as citizens of this country and also as believers should not take these kind of things for granted. We've heard of other nations that had issues in terms of violence and all that escalated into other things, and we believe strongly that those things are not going to happen in our country, not because we are so careful, but because His grace hovers over us. But then in the midst of all that, we also thank God for a good sense of urgency. We thank God that this issue is finally coming to a rest. We are praying that it actually comes to a rest. So we thank God for all these things. So as a believer, these are some of the things you should be concerned about. When you hear certain things, intercede, pray, be concerned about it. I've really been pondering over this for a while, and I'm so glad that finally our minister has come out, the government has officially come out to address these issues and publicly spoke against it. I'm also glad concerning it that as a nation, during these elections, we have become cautious of this kind of stuff. Scripture says that honor the king, love the brotherhood. So if you honor the king and you love the brotherhood, what does it mean? It actually means honoring the government in power, or honoring the president and those in authority, and loving one another, which clearly is not the act of these Western Togoland people. But I hope we are encouraged to be more cautious of this and have the love of our nation at heart and pray for the nation at all times. These are the kind of things that affect us over time when we do not pray for the nation. What I mean is that if you do not pray for the peace of your nation, you would not also have peace concerning what you have to do. So scripture says that pray for the peace of your country so that you will also have peace where you are. If you do not have peace in your country, how will you have peace to worship? We bless God for Ghana because that is our nation and that is where we are from. We thank God that this nation is at peace And we bless God for the kind of leadership that we have. Please do not politicize such things, and do not make this a whole argument that draws about contention and strife. This is a good thing that our leaders are addressing these issues and are doing their best concerning it. They are now taking up measures to update us concerning every other issue. God bless you. Stay connected and stay in the mood of praying for the nation. These few months left for this nation is a critical moment concerning elections and all those. Keep the nation at heart and pray for the nation.